The respectful funeral accorded to Basha, who masterminded Coimbatore Blasts, in which 50 people were killed and around 200 were injured, has caused a furore not just in Tamil Nadu but in other parts of the country also. People raise several questions. Many people compare the funeral of Basha with how the US disposed of the body of Osama bin Laden, who was killed by US Marines. Definitely, the grand funeral procession and the respectful funeral and the presence of many political leaders at the funeral services of Basha sends out a message that India is soft on terrorism. It sends out a message of tolerance towards terrorism. It also sends out the feeling or a message that terrorists have great influence in Tamil Nadu administration. The politics and the society of Tamil Nadu are being influenced by terror groups. This is what the ultimate takeaway from the whole incident. I think this is a very serious issue which needs to be discussed in detail. Welcome to Insights. This is Hari Kumar. Let's start with the terror activities and the life of terrorism and the notorious activities engaged by the crimes committed by Basha. Basha's crimes started in 1980s. In 1983, he was accused of masterminding an ambush of BJP leaders who were traveling in a car. I have read from newspapers that Basha himself had participated in the operation. The seriousness of the operation was that inside the car, the BJP All India leader Jana Krishnamurthy was also present. People were dragged out of the car and they were hacked. I read that one BJP leader Sundaram suffered lifelong because of the wounds and other health problems related to the attack. That was his maiden big attack. Perhaps he might have done other crimes also earlier, but we don't know. That's not there in the public domain. Afterwards, the first was in 83. Then in 1987, he carried out a daring attack on Ramagopalan, the Hindu Munnani leader, the firebrand Hindu Munnani leader in Tamil Nadu. He was brutally attacked. That happened at Madurai railway station. Then also in 1989, the group Alluma, led by Basha, carried out a daring attack against RSS leaders in Coimbatore, in which one person was killed. In 1993, he was accused of carrying out a bomb blast at RSS headquarters at Chennai. So, at regular intervals, he has been carrying out attacks against Hindu leaders with impunity. And he was accused of masterminding Coimbatore Blasts in 1998. Had he been implicated and imprisoned and had he got proper punishment in other attacks, I feel that Coimbatore Blast would not have taken place. So in that was the major crime in 1998. Earlier, all those attacks were targeted attacks, which radical Islamist groups are known for, not just in Tamil Nadu but in Kerala also. They do the same. But 1998 blast involved the death of 50 people. That was shocking. It was actually targeted at L.K. Advani, who was the Home Minister of India, and he escaped because of his luck, because his aircraft was late, and I think that was the main reason. And eventually, scores of innocent people lost their lives. And it was from then onward that law and order machinery took serious steps against Basha. And again, he is accused of being one of the masterminds of Bangalore Blast also. That happened, I think, in 2012. And other terror attacks also. Even inside the jail, he is accused of being in contact with his people or terror groups outside the jail. Now, let's come to the serious question how he has been able to carry out all such things with impunity. All crimes were committed one after the other. Where was the Tamil Nadu police? Where was the government? Where was the administration? I think the reason is the terror groups have got a very tight grip, iron grip on the system in Tamil Nadu. This is the dangerous situation. I think that is not there even in Kashmir or in the northeastern states where there was terrorism. The difference is the terror groups never had any grip on the administration. They were not part of the system in those states. But in Tamil Nadu, they were part of the system also. Otherwise, how could they have done all this with impunity? And still, a man who was convicted in Coimbatore Blast, he just escaped with a life imprisonment. I think he was imprisoned in 2007, just around 17 years. And recently, some of the political parties in Tamil Nadu, like including All India AIADMK, they demanded release of all Muslim prisoners. Even those who were convicted in bomb blast, you see their influence in the system. So the system has been hijacked by these people. The society has developed a level of tolerance towards these people. Actually, I am surprised as to why they failed to capture power in Tamil Nadu. Because, I think he escaped with life imprisonment just because the prosecution might not have presented the case or presented all the evidence before the court. They might not have argued the case properly. This is the only reason I could imagine. So a man who has been convicted of bomb blast, a man who has been accused in several targeted attacks against religious leaders, how could he escape? And he died a death, at the age of 80, and he lived up to 80. The whole system might have been crippled because of the influence of these extremist groups in political parties. And this is what I think differentiates terror groups that operate in South India and North India. In Kerala also, terror groups have got an iron grip in the system. They are actually part of the administration. They have got leaders of political parties as their sympathizers. Political parties are actually, perhaps some of them are afraid of them. And all these points towards a very dangerous situation. In North India or Kashmir or Northeast, terror groups are there also. They may be committing worse crimes. But they don't have the influence in the system. But what makes terror groups in South dangerous is their influence on the system. And that was why hundreds of people, they were able to carry out a procession. He got a dignified funeral. Leaders were there at the funeral. You cannot imagine that happening in somewhere else. This is why terrorism, I think, continues in India. You examine the way in which Israel treats terror groups. You examine the way in which the US confronted terrorists. That was what I said, that when Osama bin Laden was killed, his body was disposed in sea. The US didn't want any group to build a memorial for Laden. It would have become a rallying point. The US didn't allow that. So the same happens when NATO forces, Israel or the US kills terror leaders of ISIS, Al-Qaeda or other groups everywhere in the world. This is the way the world treats terror leaders. But I think India doesn't treat them that way. And that is why we are not able to control terror groups and terrorism. The ideology is still thriving. For the namesake, the leaders may get some imprisonment or something like that. And we are happy that they have been brought before the law and got punishment. but you are not able to do anything against the ideology. And even the individual, if they are strong, they get respect. That is how the system works. It is sad that even when the BJP is ruling the center, the situation has not changed in India. Let's see how the government is going to act in the coming days. Meet you with another topic next time. Till then, goodbye.